What is going on, people? I am here for, if you couldn't tell by the title, actually a double review, a movie and its sequel. First time I think I've ever done two, like a, back-to-back kind of review of the original and the sequel to it. So anyway, I was contacted through Instagram and asked if I wanted to sit down and review a movie. Little did I know that not only was I going to be able to check the sequel out, which is actually right now on VOD as we speak, but I was able to check out the original one, or the first one, should I say, for free, which everybody could check out. I'll leave the link and everything on the in the description and everything, so you guys can check it out as well. So anyway, if you couldn't tell by the title, the movies I'm reviewing is called Reel and Reel 2, or EEL, almost like a, movie reel and stuff. Anyway, I'll get into the first one. It's written and directed by Goodwin. It stars Mike Estes, Mandy Meyers, Evelyn Komocsi, probably horribly butchered that name, among many others. So pretty much what this is about is you get a let's just say throughout the entire movie you have almost like a commentary kind of deal. You find out that there's a guy called Slashervictim666 who is now following a YouTuber, not only following on YouTube but also following his life, called Todd Smith. So you kind of, it's a dual type movie, I guess you want to call it, where you find out a little bit more about Slashervictim666, but not as much. You pretty much find out about Todd Smith and what's going on. You find out, he's a movie critic, more of horror movies and stuff like that, so maybe that's the intrigue and stuff. But anyway, you find out different things. Not only does he do movie reviews, but throughout the movie it becomes more of like vlogs, I guess you want to call it. He's telling everybody that his brother's girlfriend is now cheating on him, and he's going to find, he's going to go to the house and, prove to his brother that she is cheating on him by pretty much videotaping everything that's going on. So pretty much throughout the movie, again, you see Todd kind of go down this spiral of, doing some crazy in his own right, evil things. So as he's doing these things, like I said, Slasher is videotaping and checking him out, not only through his Instagram, you see the videos and stuff, or not Instagram, YouTube. Not only is he, following through there, but he's following him in real life. So the first half of the movie is, more of a stalkerish type feel to it, which I was very interested in because you learn more about the characters and stuff. So you learn enough where you can, feel for them. That's the type of movies I enjoy. And then the second half, even less than the second half, maybe the last 15 minutes is where it takes a crazy turn. Myself, I'm not really into the whole crazy goreness or, the snuff type films or whatever you want to call it. It turns into that. At one point in time, let's just say Todd kind of walks himself into a situation that he could have just left alone and all this stuff throughout the movie. He's, fighting and stuff. You find out he's fighting with family and all this stuff. Well, let's just say he could have saved himself, but let's just say towards the end of the movie, it just goes from one type of film to the next. Like I said, it goes, pretty much, it seems like all the gore effects were saved for that last, 10 minutes of the movie, because it lasts a while. It's like, oh, okay, is it ever going to stop kind of deal? But it's got its own flair. It's got its own style to it. Like I said, throughout, Slasher's directing his own movie while watching. It's very interesting, very different take. It is a found footage type of deal, but it's definitely different. So I definitely appreciated it. The sound was good and all that stuff. So being a found footage or shot on camera, whatever, it did its job. I definitely enjoyed it. The second one, on the other hand, was a little bit different. It started off, where the first one left off, which was pretty cool. Like, it had, it showed a consistency. Sometimes if you get, a direct sequel and stuff like that, it kind of lags off. And let's just say you don't have to see the first one to understand the second one, because on its it's a complete different type movie from the first one, but in the beginning it'll pretty much tell you what happened in the first one to begin with anyway. So actually, the second one is also written and directed by Goodwin. It stars Stephanie, let me get the name right, Jaskot, Octavia Kaliszak, horrible with names, and Michael Lake or Lake, I don't know. Could be Lake, could be Lake, don't know. I apologize if you're watching this. But those are the top build for this. So it starts off with the, pretty much ending of the first one. And it kind of shows you what happens to, let's just say, in the first one, something might have happened to our dear friend Todd. It kind of shows you what happened, and then it brings you back to the slasher victim. He is again directing this stuff. Now there's getting, he put this movie out that he was making in the first one, and now he has internet reviewers talking about it and stuff like that. So it's a movie about a movie, if that kind of makes sense to you. So anyway, Slasher is very pissed because he's not getting, the praise or stuff that he wanted or thought he was going to get. In this one, you learn a little bit more about his backstory. In the first one, you get little glimpses of it because it goes from Todd to Slasher and all this stuff. In the second one, you learn a little bit more about, how he was the, I don't want to say the black sheep of the family, because if you watch the movies, you learn that being the black sheep of this family might be a good thing. But anyway, you learn a little bit more about him and his backstory and stuff like that. He ends up at one point in time running into an assistant named Jane. And let's just say he takes her on a ride of craziness. Like I said, the first one was more of a thriller or stalkerish type movie, and then the end turns into, the snuff type deal. Well, this one, if you're into that kind of craziness and snuff stuff, it's pretty much the second one. Let me just say I enjoy the first one a little bit more just because that's the kind of taste I have. But I'm sure for those of you who like the craziness and the goriness, you would like the second one because it's thrown at you in waves and drones. It just starts and pretty much doesn't stop. So anyway, Slasher meets Jane, and let's just say she becomes his director of sorts, and he's kind of bringing her into this. She has her own problems going on with her sister, who's I guess out to get her for some reason. She's videotaping her own sister and sending it to her mother and all this stuff. And anyway, let's just say Jane doesn't know what she's walking into, and let's just say by the end of the movie, Slasher's trying to get her to see his vision of another masterpiece of sorts in his own mind. The movies that he's making is art and masterful and all this stuff, where your normal people and the normal society would think completely different. So it is, like I said, definitely more gore, definitely more just over the topness rather than the first one. The first one, I think, is a better introduction. Like I said, it kind of follows. So it goes from, you don't technically have to see the first one, but you'll have a better grasp of the characters, I guess you want to call it. Even though technically there's more of the characters in the first one that show up. It kind of ends the same way in both type of movies, if you want to go with that tangent, I guess you want to call it. Not exact same, but in the same vein, I guess you want to call it. So it's definitely a tale of two movies, I guess you want to call it. Like I said, me personally, I enjoyed the first one more. But the second one, like I said, is, if you're looking for the craziness, if you're looking for the gore aspects, if you're looking for, over the topness, I'm guessing the second one had a little bit more of a budget, because the first one, like I said, is more, standard type movie, and then the last 10 minutes is where you get your money's worth, I guess, if you're looking for that kind of stuff. But the second one, right from the beginning, it just goes and takes off and kind of continues. So, like I said, depends on what kind of movies you're kind of looking for. Like I said, too, character development. You learn, enough about each person where you have, you could care what happens to them. Either, you're looking for them to, get attacked and killed, or you're looking for him to stay alive. You like the character and you want him to be there, and then what happens in between is up to you to watch and find out. So let me just say, it's definitely different, a different style than I'm used to watching. Me myself, if you've seen a lot of my reviews, I'm more of a horror comedy, gore and stuff I enjoy too. This one, like I said, the snuff stuff is not in my wheelhouse, but I'll watch it and check it out. For those of you who enjoy this, definitely right up your alley. What I'll do is I'll leave all the links that were sent to me. I'll leave the links to the trailers so you can check them out as well. I'll also leave the links to all the other social media. They have Instagram for the movies. You got an Instagram for Slashervictim666. There's a YouTube channel that, has a little bit behind the scenes and like different style videos. The one thing too, I must say, is the voice of this character is just in the beginning of the second one, I started laughing because there's this one scene where he gets so emotional. He starts like crying, and just the voice of, the way they have the sound and the voice of hearing someone cry in like slow motion kind of deal. I just started laughing, cracking up at that. But definitely interesting movies, ones for you to check out. Like I said, the first one, Real, is free to view. I'll leave the link to the website. I believe it's realmovie.net. I'll definitely get the correct website and stuff, but that one you could directly watch and stream for free. And then the second one is available right now on VOD, which I'll leave the link to where you can check that out as well. And like I said, check out the trailers, check out all the other social media for them, which I'll leave in the description. Also, in my, always in the description, I'll leave my social medias. I got a Facebook fan page. I got a Twitter. I got an Instagram where I show off the movies behind me. I got a, that's pretty much all I use. But I'm also part of the Dorkening, which last night we had on the director of In Search of Darkness, the 80s horror documentary that I'm sure a lot of people have, seen or are clamoring for and stuff. So we had him on. He's got a movie called In Search of Tomorrow, which is an 80s sci-fi documentary, almost in the same vein. So if you're looking for that, check out the Dorkening. And I guess that's really about it. I will be doing a video right after this one, a little bit different. So check out that after this one, I guess you want to call it. But definitely check out Real and Real 2. Look in the description, like I said, for everything I'm talking about. It'll be in there. So I guess until next time, I will see you guys.